The battle is on. Texas is taking charge, and we're not going to bulk. We're going full steam ahead. We're going to take our country back. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Happy that you have stopped by today. So, we're talking Texas today, and the Supreme Court ruling, the Biden Supreme Court ruling that states that, well, barbed wire is um, inhumane, I'm suppose. Inhumane for you to have barbed wire on the southern border because the Border patrolmen, they can't do their jobs. And let's be clear and honest about what they've been doing on the border. And that is not, they haven't been handling the illegals coming in. They're actually just wanting them to come. They're actually cutting the barbed wire so these people could come in, as opposed to saying, no, go back. So the barbed wire has become this controversial thing where history has taught us. I made a video yesterday how just 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whenever it was, Nancy Pelosi had barbed wires protecting her and the rest of the swamp, the rest of her, not her constituents, but the rest of her colleagues, as they like to call them, in DC. She had barbed wire protecting them from we the people. And prisons have barbed wires protecting the prisons from people coming in, people going out. So historically, we know that this is one way to keep, if you don't want people coming in, this is one way to keep them out. And then of course, you have a port of entry and a port of exit, come in and go. And again, walls have taught us that if you want to protect yourself from the outside, you build a wall, you protect yourself, and you go an extra step and you throw some barbed wire on there because, again, you're going to protect yourself, keep people from deterring, is the word of the day, deterring people from coming in or going out, however you want to look at it. So Texas is exercising that proven technique. But again, if you do that, you must be a racist, you must be a xenophobe. And so this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to take a peek into the press secretary, the affirmative action press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre. Y'all know I haven't done Karine in a while, and I lost my wig. I threw it out. I'll have to make a new one so I can portray her. But today, I'm not going to be portraying her, but we're going to take a listen to the nonsense that she had to say. So, if you're interested in seeing that, then let's do this.
So on the border and immigration, has there been any consideration, or is there a thought that at a certain point in time these two issues are going to have to be separated from the supplemental?
We are very much continue to be where we've been for the past couple of months since the president put forward his national security supplemental back in October, which is this supplemental ask is all of it is important, all of it. And we want Congress to act on every part of the request that the president has made. We're having these border security negotiations in the Senate in a bipartisan way. We want to come up with an agreement, but border security is also obviously in the supplemental. So that is what we're focused on. We're focused on moving all of the supplemental requests that's been asked by this president, that was asked back in October. That has not changed.
So there's not a concern that as these talks continue and even make progress, that you're going to run out of time to kind of get Ukraine what it needs?
I think you've heard from NSC, you've heard from the Admiral, we've already run out of time. We have, as it relates to Ukraine. The funding for Ukraine ended last year, the end of last year. So we have, and we've seen what Putin has done, right? He continues the barrage, the attacks on Ukraine just intensified. It's intensified. And so that is that's been the consequence of the lack of action. So we have to continue to work with Congress and be very clear with Congress. That's why the president brought, one of the main reasons the president had the leaders, some of the leaders and committee chairs here last week and ranking members here last week, is to talk about Ukraine funding and how important it is so that Ukraine has the funding that they need and the security assistance that they need to defend themselves. against Putin's aggression. And what that means, not just for their national security and their democracy, but for our national security too. We know very well what happens if you don't stop a dictator. We've seen history. If you don't stop a dictator, what could happen? Right? And so the president has been very clear about that. We need to help Ukraine.
I guess that's my question, is why not separate the two then?
Right now, we're moving in a fashion where we want to see the President National Security Supplemental move forward. There's a reason, I said this moments ago, there's a reason why the President puts forth a supplemental plan, right? It's because he sees it as an emergency. He sees it as an important request.
Seen that, heard that, good. Okay, so let's talk about this clip that we just looked into. So pretty much the question is saying, or this gentleman is saying, Karine Jean-Pierre, why don't we separate Ukraine from the border situation? Because, care for Ukraine is critical in this matter. Why don't we just focus just on, let's separate, because they have this bill out that they got to send money to Ukraine. They got to send money to this. They got to send money to that. They got to do this. It's a whole bunch of fat, right, in this whole bill about all kinds of different things. Supplements. Is that what she called it? Supplements. And so there's a whole lot of supplements in this here bill, which means that there's a lot of different hands in here. So he's saying, well, why don't we just pull Ukraine out of this? Or why don't we pull the border out of this separately? And so we can move forward. Oh, no, we can't do that. We need it all together because guess what? The American people do not support sending more money to Ukraine. And the only way they're going to get more money to be sent to Ukraine is if they package it in a way to say, hey, American people, here's a bill that's going to help secure the border, but we're also going to ask for some money to send to foreigners and to protect their borders. And if you notice there, again, the American border is the last thing on the agenda, right? It's the last thing that they're really looking at because their top of mind, top of mind, top of mind is Ukraine and other countries, not us, not America, not our borders, not Texas border. No, that's not what they look at. No, they look at we've got to protect Ukraine from the aggression of the Russians, the aggression of Putin aggression. That's what we have to protect, not an invasion, not our sovereignty, not the problem of this border crisis. No, our top of mind is Ukraine and Russia and their borders. We've got to protect their democracy. Yet our democracy has gone out the window a long time ago because nobody seems to be wanting to protect America. So they throw this border part in so this way they can present it to the American people as if we're really working to protect and secure the border. BS. I call bullshit. Okay? That's what it is. It's bullshit. They're trying to feed the American people. What was that movie where the woman, she baked the pie and she filled it with shit and poured sugar and made it a nice shit pie and said, here's some pie. And he ate it all up. Oh, good. I had a lot of sugar in it, but they were eating shit, right? And that's the idea of all of this. They've baked this bullshit pie. They've put all kinds of things in there and say, America, here you go. And they're expecting the American people to slice it up and eat it up and enjoy the shit, which is not securing a border, which is putting systems in place where they really do are legalizing, telling these people you can continue to come. Yeah, a couple of million of you, we'll let a few million in, but we're not really going to secure it. We don't know where these people are coming from all over the country, people who hate America, but yet they're saying, here's your shit pie, America. You eat it up because we're going to protect Ukraine and other countries' border, but we're going to feed you shit. Hello, fellow patriots. Thank you so much for your support. And again, you can do so by purchasing products from the Orlando Patriots, mugs, t-shirts, all of your patriotic gear. We are in an election year, so we need to show the world that we support our candidates, especially President Trump. So get some gear at theorlandopatriot.com and you'll get 30% off. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. I'll see you there.
During President Trump, former President Trump yesterday said that he was encouraging all states to send their National Guard troops to the border to help Texas and to move migrants back across the border. Do you have any response to this effort to have states take on federal immigration policy?
So look, I've been pretty clear about these states, if they really want to help and assist, if they want to help get more resources to deal with the border, the challenges at the border, they should be calling on their senators and representatives to join the administration and working in a bipartisan agreement to get that done. That's our message. That's what we'll tell all the governors, the Republican governors, obviously in particular. Look, Border Patrol needs they need resources. They need to be able to have these resources to do their jobs. The immigration system has been broken for decades. You hear me say this over and over again. Not just me. This is the truth. It is the fact. And so, in order to deal with this, we need policy changes. We need funding and resources. So that's what we would tell them. We would tell these Republican governors to talk to their representative. Call on them to take action. Call on them to take action.
Can you speak to President Biden's relationship with Governor Abbott? I know there's been a lot of back and forth with court cases. How is that relationship?
Well, they've had opportunities to meet a couple of times. The president has been in Texas. You've seen it for yourselves, how they have engaged with one another. And we've been we will not shy away from calling out what we see as political games from the governor, because it is not safe. It does not protect our communities. It doesn't help Border Patrol to do their jobs. So we will continue to call that out. That's not going to hold us back. But the president, he is a president for all Americans. It's not about the governor of Texas. It's about the people of Texas. Because you hear me say this, and he has said this. He's a governor he's a president, for red states, blue states, and that's who he cares about. He cares about the people of Texas and the American people more broadly across the country.
Seen that, heard that, good. Once again, I'm going to call bullshit to the affirmative action mouthpiece that's out here pushing lies and propaganda. So first out the bat, she is saying that, Joe Biden cares about the American people and that it's the American people who is first on the agenda for them. And so therefore the Border Patrol is keeping, Greg Abbott is keeping the Border Patrol men or women, whoever, from doing their job of protecting the Americans' people's best interest. Again, I'm going to repeat that because I think I butchered that drop. So again, she is saying that Joe Biden is trying to protect the American people on the border and so on across the country, everywhere. He's protecting Americans. And by wanting Greg Abbott to remove the barbed wire that is stopping illegals from coming in. Now, they're not protecting the illegals. It's not about the illegals being protected. It's about the Americans being protected. And so Border Patrol need to do their job, which, by the way, is processing these people to come on in. And of course, handing out water and food and baby pampers and all of the essentials that's needed. These people are literally out here doing like field work for the Biden administration, not really processing people and handling business. No, they're out here, giving them incentives to keep them flowing on through. Again, a list of a whole lot of things being given to them. So they're not being saying, where's your paperwork? Where's your document? What's your situation? You're looking for amnesty. What is it that you need? No, they're just out here handing out water and sandwiches and so on. So again, their whole thing is that they're protecting Americans. Bullshit. BS. Bullshit. That's not what they're doing. Their main thing is making sure that they have a clear pathway of people to continue to come so they can grow this Democrat base so that they can continue to win elections with having illegals vote in their elections. So they need to keep filling it up. I saw a video recently that said that the realistic number of illegals that's really crossed in It's in the numbers of 20 million more plus. Like they're telling us, oh, it's only about 7 million, but the actual numbers is like significantly higher. And again, this is where they are because once you've given these people all of these things, it's like giving people stuff for free. Yeah, at some point, where's your allegiance, friend? Because they're going to come calling to you and say, look, we let you into the country. We've set you up with welfare and food stamps and housing and all these things, phones and hotels and all this stuff. You got everything you need. Now it's time for you to repay us. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to vote for us. So keep us in power so we can continue to keep this dog and pony show going. And that's what these people are going to do. We are losing our country every single day because of this nonsense. And this mouthpiece want to sit here and say, yeah, Joe Biden cares about the American people. We care about red states. We care about this. We care about that. It's BS. Okay. I call BS on that because that is not true. It is a straight up lie, straight from the devil itself.
Anyway, I have to start going. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. In the letter that you mentioned that DHS sent to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, they asked Texas to give CBP full access to Shelby Park by today. As of a couple of hours ago, about an hour or two ago, Texas National Guard hadn't taken down the brazen wire. They still had these barriers up. I guess, is the president concerned that Texas doesn't seem to be backing down or listening to the letter that DHS sent? And I guess how does the administration plan to respond if they don't give DHS access?
So I'm going to let DHS speak to how they're going to respond. Obviously, DOJ speak to how they're going to respond. What I will say is it's shameful. It's shameful that politics is being played here. Political stunts are being done here as we're trying to deal with an issue that Americans really care about, right? And all we are asking for is Border Patrol to have access to an area so that they can enforce the law. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to actually do their job to enforce the law. That's what Border Patrol agents are meant to do, and that's what they're trying to do. And you have politics being played, and you have a governor getting in the way of that. And so it is shameful that we continue to see these political stunts and we continue to see these political games. It is not safe. It does not help solve the problem. It does not help solve the issue.
Seen that, heard that, good. I will tell you what is shameful, Corinne Jean-Pierre. I'll tell you what is shameful. What is shameful is you, the Biden administration, the whole crew, y'all, trying to destroy this country. That, my dear, is what is shameful. We are the United States of America, and it is about time that we, the people, started to unite our states to stand up against this radical invasion, this radical administration that puts other countries first, that puts destroying our rules and policies, our constitution, destroying the country. You all can say whatever you want about Vladimir Putin and his Russian aggression. But one thing for sure, he puts his people first. He puts his country first. Maybe you and the administration can learn a thing or two from him and how to represent for your own country. This is what's shameful about you all, is that you do not stand up for America. You do not stand up for our traditions. You do not stand up for this country and the Constitution and the people within the perimeters of this country. That, my dear, is what's shameful. And I am so grateful and happy that we, the people, these other governors are standing up with Governor Abbott in Texas and say, yeah, we've got your back. We know what's happening. We're going to stand with you in order to defeat this insanity. So good for them. Good for them. And Florida is one of those states that is behind Governor Abbott and all of this. So we're proud of all of this. So I say thank you to Governor DeSantis. I say thank you for standing up against this radical agenda. So there you are. I fed you enough of the affirmative action press secretary's bullshit. And I have to say that one of the reasons, I have a couple of reasons. One of the reasons I have not really um, done her in the skits lately, or it's been a while, it's because sometimes I can't listen to her in the nonsense. I get a headache listening to her, watching her gaslight and just, don't answer questions and so on. It just irritates me to the point of where I want to break the computer. I want to break and scream and yell. And so therefore it's just been frustrating because you can't get nothing out of her. She's just a mouthpiece that repeats the same thing no matter what the question is. She is so bad at her job. Again, the affirmative action put in. So, any event, friends, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for taking the time and watching. And I just say thank you to you all for your support on this channel. It means everything. It's so great to be able to come on here and put our values out there in the public. We need more voices out here speaking and standing up on our soapboxes and telling it like it is, telling the truth about what the hell is really going on around these parts. So I'm glad that I am able to, that I have the gumption to come out here and do this. And so I couldn't really do it without support from you guys, from watching the video, sharing it, purchasing products to continue to help me to push this thing ahead, push this thing. We're pulling this cart all the way to the end in 2024 because we've got to take our country back. And so I thank you for supporting me in all of these efforts. So I will say God bless you, God keep you, and I will see you in another video. And by the way, Corinne Jean-Pierre, girl, I'm going to be praying for your soul. I'm going to be praying for you, girl. Praying for you.